Here's a close-up look at the new LEGO Star Wars Captainrex. With the release of the ucsvenator on approach on October 1st, I was able to get my hands on the new LEGO Star Wars Captainrex Phase 2 minifigure. Now overall, I love the look of this Phase 2 Captainrex. If you're wondering as to how I got my hands on a Phase 2 Captainrex this early, it was from a guy called Camino Bricks. Now he runs a website selling LEGO Star Wars figures, and I'm going to link him in the description. I highly recommend you check him out because I got mine very quickly and he shipped from the US to the UK. As cool as this Captainrex minifigure is, he's not without his flaws. As you can see here, I've removed the waist cape and the pauldron as my minifigure didn't come with these accessories. So you'll have to excuse the pauldron, but I actually had to order one from Capes for minifigures because my Captainrex didn't ship with one. And I actually do prefer this pauldron, as if you take a look at official images of the new LEGO Star Wars Captainrex, the new pauldron looks way oversized and just solely inaccurate. So without a doubt, let's take a look at some of those flaws that this Captainrex does have. And one of those flaws being the printed on waist capes. In years past, in 2012, as you can see, this ARC Trooper doesn't have a printed on waist cape, and actually he has a cloth waist cape, which makes it more upsetting as to why LEGO have chosen to print on waist capes rather than include cloth ones. As you can see, these are 4 minifigures that have released over the last 2 years: the 501st Officer, Phase 2 Rex, Phase 2 Fox, and Phase 2 Echo. All these figures are supposed to have cloth waist capes, but no, LEGO have decided to print all of them on, which is just very disappointing, as when you notice that LEGO have taken no initiative to print on the side of the legs, as the only printing for the waist capes you actually see is just the thin slivers of prints on the right and the left sides of the upper portions of the legs, which does a very poor job of representing a cloth waist cape. And that is why I decided to buy cloth waist capes to put on every single one of my clone troopers that is lacking those cloth waist capes, all the way from Echo to Fox to Rex and a 501st Officer. These figures just look a hell of a lot better, look cleaner, look nicer, and are more accurate to the source material, so you just can't complain. And it was a cheap fix, as these aren't official cloth waist capes, but they are basically mirror everything about the LEGO Star Wars cloth waist capes. And that leads me on to the last issue with this minifigure, that being the helmet holes. Now, over the last year, since the release of the ATT on August 1st of 2022 that included one of the most anticipated LEGO minifigures, Phase 2 Cody, every single LEGO Star Wars clone trooper has had the dreaded helmet holes. And one of the many reasons as to why LEGO actually added these helmet holes is the fact that you can use accessories with these minifigures. As you can see, the 501st Officer requires a rangefinder. As you can see with Phase 2 Rex, he requires a rangefinder also, and with Phase 2 Fox, he requires the visor piece. So all in all, it's totally understandable as to why LEGO Star Wars added these helmet holes, as it allows for the accessories, but there is one issue with this, that the helmets just look worse. Now, when bringing in a figure from 2020 at the first time of the LEGO Star Wars 2020 style of clone troopers, and taking a comparison between that helmet from the 2020 clone trooper to the 2023 clone trooper, you can see one big issue, and it's those helmet holes, or more so the helmet bumps that you get from the helmet holes. Now overall, I don't mind the helmet holes that much because it does allow for accessories, and I'd much rather have a Phase 2 Rex with a rangefinder than a Phase 2 Rex without a rangefinder, but it doesn't stop people complaining about them. One, that the helmet holes are actually in the wrong places, they actually just be slightly down where the actual helmet bumps are just below the helmet holes, and the fact that the helmets just take on a weird shape now. But most people have blown this issue out of the water, as it isn't that bad of an issue, and I'd much rather have these accessories for clone troopers so you can enjoy all of the system of play features that LEGO actually has to offer. But with that said, those are actually all the issues surrounding this Phase 2 Rex, as overall he's a pretty decent minifigure and he scales well very nicely with other figures like Ahsoka Tano from Season 7 of the Clone Wars, as this version of Captainrex is based off that Season 7 version of the Clone Wars. The reason we know this to be true is when you take off his helmet and take a closer look at that head print, Phase 2 Rex actually has an exclusive head print. Now, overall, his actual face, negating that bandage, isn't too different. He does have a couple more wrinkles to represent that he was a Gen 1 clone, as he fought in the first battle of Geonosis. But in the top left of his headpiece, you can see that he has a little bandage, representing the time he got his inhibitor chip removed. But with all that said, I really like this Phase 2 Rex, and I highly recommend anyone who's wanting this figure to go buy the figure. Do not buy the set that it comes in just for the figure, but buy the figure on the secondary market. As of the time of making this recording, you can buy him for $35 from Camino Bricks. So overall, I really like this minifigure. I highly recommend you picking him up if you want this Captainrex and don't want to shell out $200 for the 2013 version of the Captainrex, as that is ridiculous. But anyway, my name's been George, and take care, guys.